What is up, everybody? The Reds are back to winning ways in the Premier League with a very hard fought 2-1 victory over Chris Wilder's Sheffield United. I'm not going to lie, folks, that was squeaky bum time for the end of that game without a shadow of a doubt. Credit to Sheffield United, though. We knew it was going to be a difficult game. We knew we'd have to fight and work for every single minute of that game. We'll go to the big moments in the game. We'll announce the Anfield Agenda Man of the Match. There's still time for you to go over to the Flick chat group and get your vote in for that one. But look, where to start with this one? I suppose we go all the way back to the starting 11, and it was a very attacking lineup put out there by Jurgen Klopp, and I was delighted when I seen it. I had no qualms about it whatsoever. The interesting part was to see where Bobby Firmino was going to play. He did drop into that attacking midfield role. So yeah, there you go. Apologies, this is our second attempt at the post-match show as well. Everything that possibly could go wrong for us today has. But you know what? The Reds got 3 points. That is the most important thing. For me, Sadio Mane put in an amazing shift today. He was involved in everything good that we did in an attacking sense. But look, the big moments of the game, I suppose, revolve around a couple of things. I'm going to talk about the penalty incident. I'm going to talk about our goals. But what I want to talk about beforehand was Trent Alexander-Arnold and that really cheeky free kick that he took from inside his own half. Ramsdale had to backpedal and do so well, but that's why Trent is special. That's what makes him different. We've seen Kemar Roofe obviously score a brilliant goal for Rangers in the Europa League, and that would have been unbelievable for Trent to have that on his CV, one from inside his own half. But credit to the keeper for being aware enough to tip it over the bar. But look, the game really hinged, I suppose, on the incident involving Fabinho, that challenge on the edge of the box that resulted in what I thought was going to be a free kick, but then was upgraded to a penalty. Now look, I'm saying this time and time again, to me, VAR and officiating in the Premier League are just not good enough. Now, this is an opportunity for me to get my point across without rival fans saying I'm being salty, because what have I got to be salty about? We got the result in the end. So to me, again, I think this is one of those where Fabinho won the ball. It shouldn't have been a free kick, and then for it to be upgraded to a penalty, it was just beyond ridiculous. It really was just a shambles. Credit to Berg, he stepped up, great penalty, sent Alisson the wrong way, and we're 1-0 down. I actually thought we got a bit lucky not to concede a second penalty on the challenge on Berg from Jota. To me, that was the most likely of all of them. There was also a claim for a handball there from Robbo, which was, look, never a handball, too close to him. But look, that's what it was, and we had to fight back from 1-0 down, and we did it bit by bit. Jordan Henderson popping up on that right hand side. You probably remember, if you were watching the Watchalong, I was screaming, give it to Hendo, get him to play what I call the Kevin De Bruyne ball, whip it from that right side to the back post. That's how the breakthrough came, ladies and gentlemen. It was a tremendous cross from Hendo, a header from Sadio Mane from point blank range. He probably should have done a bit better, with the header. Ramsdale makes the save, and Bobby Firmino was in the right place at the right time to get himself a goal, a much needed goal that will hopefully restore some of his confidence. The game went on. Second half, we pressed and pressed and pressed. Thought we had the breakthrough. Thought we got the lead with Mohamed Salah. Controlled the ball beautifully and knocked it past Ramsdale really quickly before he could set himself. It was correctly ruled out for offside. It was the right decision. No arguments about that. But we kept pressing and kept pressing. And again, Sadio Mane was at the heart of Liverpool's second goal. Great play from him on the left-hand side, frees himself a bit of space, puts a tremendous cross in, and Diogo Jota splits the two defenders, leaps above both of them, and heads it past Ramsdale to give us the lead. And then, of course, Sheffield United, as expected, kept pressing and pressing. They brought the big men on, McGoldrick trying to find that equaliser, but Liverpool's defence held firm. And it was great to see Alisson back in goal today as well. So look, it wasn't vintage, but who cares? It was about grinding out the 3 points today. It was about getting back to winning ways, and we done that. I'm going to announce the man of the match in about 10 or 15 minutes before we finish up. But I want to go over to you guys and see what you have to say about today's game, because after all, this is your show, ladies and gents. Gomez had a 94% passing accuracy, said TML. Thank you for that one, buddy. Your player showed the true colours, bro. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. Again, I'm baffled by that comment. Happy to talk about it more, mate, but I genuinely don't know what you mean by it. I thought our players were fantastic today. Is Thiago playing the next match? I would hope so, Adnan. Again, better to play on the side of caution there, because you don't want him to come in a little bit too early. Maybe the knee's still a little bit swollen. You hope that he'll be back for the next game against Midtjylland on Tuesday in the Champions League. What else we got? I watched the Barca game, so somebody else. It was a good game. I watched that myself earlier on. Unfortunately for me, it was a 3-1 win for Madrid. Lara said VAR are still run by humans, so there's still always human error. And that's a fair point. Football is subjective. Some of these decisions at times are subjective. It's not black and white like other sports. In cricket, it either takes a nick off the bat or it's either an LBW or it isn't. In tennis, the ball's either in or it's out. It's fairly straightforward, but there's always going to be human interpretation when it comes to football. So VAR will only be as good as the officials that are running it. And in my humble opinion, and I'm going to be consistent in saying this, the officiating in the Premier League is just nowhere near good enough. And again, just before we even get into the £15 that some people around the world had to pay to watch that game today, which is another money grab that I'm not proud at all. And I'm glad I didn't have to pay, because over here in Ireland, Premier Sports was showing the game, and that was part of my sports package, so I was able to watch it. Because I point blank wouldn't have paid the £15, folks, if I'm being honest with you. Gomez is winning Liverpool's vote for man of the match on their Twitter. I genuinely am baffled as to how that is. Let me just check the Anfield agenda vote and see how we differ. 1 second. Let me see how the Anfield agenda vote's going. Man of the match poll. Right, here we go. Yeah, and the Anfield agenda one is a little bit different, folks. The Anfield agenda man of the match vote is Jota. Jota absolutely leading the way there. So yeah, Anfield agenda man of the match is Diogo Jota. At least now we can laugh at Man U. I'm always laughing at Man U, mate, regardless one way or the other. United always gets every decision. How does that work? Said Captain Clun. I don't know, mate, but we ground it out today. I mean, stuff has gone against us recently. It feels like, as a Liverpool fan, obviously we feel like the whole world's against us at times. But I want to again give credit to the players for showing their heart today, not giving up and seeing that game out. From coming from behind, they didn't let their heads drop, and that's the group of players we have here. That's why we're all so supportive of them, because they play with their heart on their sleeve. They give 100% every single time. And I knew we were going to see that game out the minute I seen James Milner coming onto the pitch, because that's what Jimmy Milner does. He wins you little free kicks. He makes sure everyone's settled down. He plays the safe pass, keeps possession. That's why you have senior pros like that in the squad. So for me, I was very reassured when Milner came on. Everyone was mocking us for the signing of Jota. Anyone who mocked Liverpool signing Jota is an idiot. It was clear that Diogo Jota was going to fit into our system really well. He's exactly the type of footballer that Jurgen Klopp loves, and exactly the type of footballer that our system requires. So we knew he was going to be a good sign, and delighted that he's got himself a goal in front of the Kop today, albeit there wasn't Reds in there. But what a header. It really was a magnificent header. Did you see the Maguire headlock in the box? I did. And how that wasn't a penalty, I'll never understand. Now, if there are any Chelsea fans watching, you guys got a taste of how, VAR is nonsense. We got a little taste of it today as well. And it's easy for fans to come in and mock us and say, ha ha ha. But it will happen to everybody eventually, because the officiating is so bad that it's just going to be spread across the league. So it kind of will even itself out a little bit. But how that wasn't a penalty earlier on, I don't know either. It looked like an absolutely stonewall one. And we're called Liverpool. I know, Josh. It's mental, mate, isn't it? It's early yet for Jota, said Michael Foley. It is, Michael. You're right, mate. But it's encouraging, isn't it, to see that he's getting up to speed quickly, because our system takes some getting used to. You see players come in. We've seen a lot of them. We've seen Andy Robertson. We've seen Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. We've seen Takumi Minamino come in and take 3 to 6 months to get up to speed with the system. We didn't have to wait that long for Diogo Jota. Obviously, he's used to Premier League football, but so was Chamberlain, to be fair, and Robertson. But the research that was done on Diogo Jota by Pep Linders and the recruitment team, they just knew that he was going to fit the system really well. And I thought it was a great deal when I heard it at the time. Not going to lie, I had no advance notice of it or warning of it, but when you heard the name, you just knew it was a good fit for the club. Craig, would you rest Firmino for the Champions League game? It's two ways of looking at that one, Carl. I mean, the obvious answer is yeah. You would say he probably deserves to give up that shirt to Takumi Minamino or Diogo Jota. But at the same time, if you want to get him back to confidence and you're playing at home against Midtjylland in the Champions League, you'd have to say, with all due respect to Midtjylland, that there's probably a chance there for Firmino to grab himself another goal or two and maybe boost that confidence a bit. So it's a difficult one. I wouldn't mind seeing Diogo Jota, Takumi Minamino and Shaqiri got a chance as a front three against Midtjylland, to be fair, because I thought all three did very well when they came on the other day after the hour mark against Ajax. So again, options there for the gaffer. I'm so happy to have Alisson back. He did cause us a bit of a heart attack at one point when he was closed down, but still, he just, I don't know, he fills me full of confidence anyway. Salah was being a bit selfish tonight, said Jamie. Yes, I would agree with you a little bit, Jamie, but more than that, what annoyed me was that he wasn't getting his shot off sometimes when he had opportunities to do so. Again, he was very unlucky with that when they hit the post, but quite frankly, he should have scored that one. So, yeah, I kind of agree with you, but Sadio Mane, he was a little bit selfish at times as well, but he was a bit better in possession of the ball, I think, today. I thought Sadio was excellent, by the way. I really, really thought he put in an amazing shift again. Play Firmino in the Champions League and play Minamino against West Ham, said Harry Williams. Again, another big game coming up for the Reds, but it's good that we have 3 back-to-back home games. So we had the game today, obviously, against Sheffield United, the game in the Champions League on Tuesday, and then West Ham next Saturday. So yeah, 3 home games is nice. Less travelling for the lads. The less of that, the better. John Conway said, "Hi Craig, who won the signed books?" Do you know what, John? Honestly, hand on heart, mate, with the tech issues, I haven't had a chance to do it yet. So I'll either announce the winner of that tomorrow or on Monday, John, but I do apologise. So still a chance, I suppose, technically for people to enter. And that's my bad. It just was a time issue, John. I'll get my finger out of my backside and get that sorted out, buddy, I promise you. And I'll announce that in the next day or two. If you don't know what we're talking about, Paul Tompkins came on the channel for his first ever video interview to talk about his latest book, Perched, and Paul gave us 3 signed copies of that book to give away, and I will pick those winners. If you want to be, that's not even a word. If you want to be in with a chance to win one of those books, check out the interview with Paul. Ajax won 13-0. I know, away from home as well. How mental is that? Sheffield United gave us a good game, said Jamie. They're a good team. They're a very good team. Actually, one of their fans in the chat before the game said to me, do you think we'll get relegated? And it genuinely would never enter my head after last season to see Sheffield United get relegated. I think they're too good. They fight too hard. They're too strong. I think Chris Wilder, things will start falling back into place. I've got nothing but respect for them. I like Chris Wilder. I like the way they play, and they're fully committed. They battle their asses off, and that's to be admired. As a manager, if you're looking at that, you think, right, we mightn't have the most talented players in the world when you look at the likes of Liverpool or other top sides, but they've got players that work week in and week out, are very good players, solid pros, and I think Chris Wilder will get them firing again. And of course, I hope Ryan Brewster goes and scores a load of goals for them as well. He didn't get a sniff today, and he was taken off, and yeah, it wasn't a great return to Anfield for Ryan Brewster, but you know, it was all about Liverpool getting the points today, really. Craig, are we trying to sign Kabak? The honest answer to that, I don't know. I'd be baffled if we were to go and sign somebody that is as undisciplined as Kabak seems to be, like spitting and getting a 5-game ban. We hear about the dressing room at Liverpool, how strong it is and how good all the lads are, and that they've got the right mentality, that they're winners, that, you know, it would surprise me. I mean, we have been linked to Kabak, the Schalke player. There's no denying that, but that was pre-spitting incident. Now, James Pearce said during the week, I believe, or at least these quotes have been attributed to James Pearce, that he wouldn't be surprised if Liverpool tried to make a move for Kabak or Upamecano in the January window. I would imagine Kabak would be the far easier deal to make, because Leipzig could well be still involved in Champions League football, could go into the latter stages. They're in a difficult group there with United, PSG, but Schalke, it seems like it's an easier deal to make. I mean, they've got no European action to worry about. They're realistically not going to be challenger for the Bundesliga title. They changed managers as well. So maybe that deal will be easier to make and will probably be a lot cheaper than going out and getting Deo Upamecano, who we all know have a release clause that kicks in next summer for 40 million. If you were to try and get him out of Leipzig in January, you're definitely going to be paying a premium on that. So I'm as intrigued as everybody else, and I haven't really had a chance to do some digging in to see what the story is with Kabak, but I will do over the next couple of days. And again, if you're a member of Anfield Agenda, you would have got the starting lineup at 5 o'clock today, as you know, because we got the inside info, we pass it on, but only to our members, because they pay to become a member of the channel. So if you want to join Anfield Agenda FC, click the blue join button, and we'll see you in the Discord group. Right, what else have we got, folks? I love Liverpool. I mean, I can take that one. Rob Salmon said, "Hi Craig, any news about that player I asked you with the Argentine defender, ex-Valencia defender?" Nothing that I've seen, Rob. A couple of people have asked me about that guy. We won't sign someone just because he's on a free contract. We'll sign somebody for the long term. Kloppo doesn't really do short-term thinking. He's not going to bring somebody like that in that will block the pathway of the progression of the likes of Reece Williams, Sepp van den Berg, Billy Cometio as well. So we would have planned to have made a bid for a centre-back next summer, and as James Pearce said, we'll probably try and obviously fast forward that deal, whatever that deal might be, till January, and we're going to have to set up as we are until January. Hopefully Fabinho can stay fit, hopefully we get Matip back fit, and at least then we can rotate between Matip, Gomez, Fabinho, and give one of the lads a break. It's good Brewster left. It's good for him to get minutes, I suppose, but I hope that he scores a load of goals and ends up in the Liverpool shirt again someday. Finn said man of the match on the Anfield Agenda man of the match vote. Let me just check and see if anything has changed. Diogo Jota is the Anfield Agenda man of the match. That's what our vote has said. So yeah, congratulations to him. I think somebody said Joe Gomez was winning it over on the Liverpool website. Brilliant. Newman said, "I do not want Kabak, I want Upamecano. I was really impressed by him in the Champions League." I would have a preference for Upamecano myself, mate. Absolutely. And I want to say congratulations to Khabib Nurmagomedov, by the way, who submitted Justin Gaethje in the second round, I believe, and still talked to the announcer's retirement then. So fair play to Khabib. He's taken on all comers in the UFC, beating them all, and you got to give the guy tremendous credit for what he's achieved. Salah man of the match said Team Spaces. Not for me today. Good shift as always for Mo, but I wouldn't have had it as man of the match. Puskas is a god said West Ham's going to be a very difficult game next week. Yes, 100%, mate. Can't believe little old us, by the way, have hit 55k. If you are enjoying this stream, folks, please do hit that subscribe button, drop a like on the video as well. Again, I'm very sorry how late this post-match show was. We're going to have Corey coming on for a West Ham preview during the week as well, and I'm going to be on his channel then for a match reaction afterwards, so look forward to that one coming up as well this week. We've got loads of stuff. You might know about our second channel, Mundo Sporto. We launched that one last week. First ever watch-along on there, and we got 14k, which is brilliant considering it's a tiny channel. If you want to subscribe to that, the next match we'll be covering on there will be Juventus against Barcelona in the Champions League on Wednesday. There's a link to Mundo Sporto in the description of this stream, so please do go over there and give a sub to that channel as well. And more content coming out, and it gives me a chance to talk about non-Liverpool games and not be as emotionally involved in them. Harry Williams said Tuesday's team: Alisson, Neco, Phillips, Gomez, Matip, Tsimikas, Milner, Jones, Shaqiri, Jota, Bobby, Origi. I don't know about making that many changes, mate. I'd rather we get the Champions League all sewn up. Do you know what I mean? Try and get the 3 points against Michelin. Then we've got back-to-back games against Atalanta. If you can take 4 points out of those 2 games, that should pretty much see us through. 10 points, 2 games to go. We might need one more, but I'd like us to have that last game done and dusted in the Champions League, be already top of the group, all going well. But yeah, it's some big games coming up. I mean, we've had a difficult start to the season as well. Away trip to Stamford Bridge, we got the points there. Arsenal at home, managed to beat them. Drew with Everton in the derby. So, we've come up against some difficult sides already this season, and we're holding our own as we fight back up the Premier League table. It's going to be an interesting title race this season. I just want to have a look at the updated Premier League table. Back up in the second place now as things stand. Behind Everton, who are ahead on goal difference, and they do have a game in hand. Villa behind us and Leeds United in fourth. I mean, if I had told you after 6 games that it will be Everton, Liverpool, Aston Villa and Leeds United occupying the Champions League spots, I don't think many of us would have thought that would be the case. So credit where it's due. Leeds coming up into the Premier League this season and showing that they mean business as well. Kerbo said Alisson is the reason we won. That's my opinion, mate. If that's your opinion, brilliant. As long as we won, I'm happy. How we got there, as I say before, I'll take a 1-0 win, I'll take a 10-0 win. It's just about getting the 3 points. Should our strikers be more ruthless? Yes. That's one thing that's bugged me a little bit lately with the strikers, to be honest. I mean, you've seen other teams far more clinical. We create a lot of opportunities through some very good play, particularly when we've somebody like Sadio Mane or Roberto Firmino dropping deep to pick up possession. And if we can break that first press in midfield, we often find ourselves in a very good counter-attacking position, and we are a bit wasteful at times. Sometimes it's the runners not making the right runs, or sometimes the ball's just not being released and our forwards could be perhaps a little bit too greedy. But look, it is difficult. They're doing this thing at speed and they've only got seconds to think it through. And we are blessed with some of the best forwards in the world. But yeah, I would agree. We probably should be banging in a few more. But hopefully that comes. As long as we keep picking up the points. I mean, there were times last season that we grounded out early doors. You probably remember. I mean, I know we won the league at a canter, but we did grind out some games early on in the season, and that's important. I mean, it was important for us today to get those 3 points and just get back to winning ways. I've coming off the back of that 7-2 loss to Villa and that contentious draw at Goodison Park. I thought today the lads dug in and did well, and they'll learn from that, they'll grow from that, and hopefully push on. Salah's post was painful. He should have scored that. There's no two ways about it. Base facing space, he should have scored it. Dylan said, how do you feel about Firmino and Jota's performance today? Jota, I thought, was really good. Some little heavy touches at times, but again, the balls are whipped in fast. Bobby Firmino's performance was a bit more difficult because I'm still getting used to seeing him in a different position, but his striker's instincts were there to follow in, or his forward's instincts, I should say, were there to follow in from Sadio Mane. So you've got to give him credit for being in the right place at the right time. That could have easily been a Sheffield United defender who'd followed in and cleared that, but it wasn't. I still think Sadio should have done better with the header, but pushing that aside, Bobby was there to do the right thing at the right time. He doesn't look at his best, I'm not going to deny that. I'm Bobby's biggest fan, but it's our job to get behind him, and that's why I think he should start against Midtjylland, because a couple of goals there maybe will boost his confidence again. Love Diogo Jota though, absolutely love him. The work rate is phenomenal. Do I rate Origi? It depends how I judge the word rate. Do I appreciate Divock? 100%. Scores some magical goals for us, really big occasions. You don't get much bigger than the Champions League semi-final, the Champions League final, the derby against Everton. But I think it would be wrong to say that he's not pretty far down the list of Liverpool strikers, of the pecking order of Liverpool strikers. I love Divock. He seems like a nice lad, plays with a smile on his face, but sometimes he tends to look a little bit disinterested, and that kind of doesn't sit well with Liverpool fans, particularly if you're looking to get that opportunity. But you know, you cast your mind back to those important goals Divock scored, and to me he'll always be a cult hero for those goals. Look, I don't like to talk bad of any Liverpool player, because they're all players that we support and admire, so when they've got that red shirt on, they'll get my support. Did I like the 4-2-3-1 formation, and would you like to see it again? It's difficult to say if it was like a 4-2-3-1, to be fair, because I thought it was more of a 4-2-1-3. As much as Salah was through the centre, I didn't really see him playing ahead of the other players, because we pretty much played with a front three across that line. Now maybe that's because Sheffield United were defending a bit deeper at times and there was no space for the striker to get in behind, but I think what'll get really interesting is when you drop Thiago into that midfield. I mean, imagine the energy of Thiago and Henderson there with maybe a Naby Keita, Bobby Firmino, a Takumi Minamino, or an Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain ahead of them, and Thiago pulling the strings in midfield. I mean, that's what we have to look forward to, and I'm very much looking forward to seeing Thiago settling in. Thoughts on Harvey Elliott? Delighted to hear that he got a goal today, Ben. And look, Harvey Elliott is one for the future and will be a Liverpool player, and I think will be a success at the club. He's a red through and through as well, which I love. And yeah, he needed it alone. He scored a goal today. I hope he continues to score, grow in confidence. And the Championship's a difficult league, so yeah, good news again. And I think Shea Ojo scored as well today, and not a bad day, to be fair, not a bad day. How are you liking Minamino so far? I love him, Daniel, but he needs to get more opportunities, and I think he will, because the long season ahead. The gaffer has been singing his praises, really talking about him being up to speed and a machine or an animal. I can't remember which one he called him. It was some complimentary term about the energy levels and how well tuned in he is to the system and the tactical stuff that he's asked to do. How was Gomez and Fabinho's performances? Please don't spam the chat, awesome guy. I mean, I'll try and get to as many comments as you can, but you've put that in 3 times there in a short space of time. And I just don't want you to get removed by our mods. Good. I mean, Fabinho was, I think, really hard done by for that penalty. It was a very difficult day for the 2 centre-backs because Sheffield United are a big side. And aerially, we were always going to be second best today. But I thought they did well in very difficult circumstances. So credit to them both. And yeah, it'll give them confidence. I mean, it wasn't a clean sheet, but, you know, they can't do much about the penalty. Weenie Boy said Taki, Hendo and Curtis in the next Champions League game. No problem with that whatsoever. I love Curtis Jones. I think seeing more of him this season, it'll be great to watch him develop. Fabinho's got a lot of pressure filling Big Verge's boots, said Harvey. 100%, mate. I mean, the fact, how amazing is it that we have a player as versatile as Fabinho that can play in his holding midfield position. He can play in an 8 in midfield if he needs to. He can play at centre back, and of course he can play at right back. We often speak about the versatility of players at Liverpool, and it's something that Kloppo seems to look for, because if you look right through that team, most of those players can play in 2 or 3 positions. So yeah, Fabinho was just another fantastic piece of business by the club to bring him in. You won, but you made hard work of it. We did, but that's because a couple of things. I mean, I've got nothing but respect for Sheffield United. I was not expecting an easy game today. I got a little bit excited, of course, when I seen the team sheet, because we had 4 attacking players on there, and that was great. But I always expected a difficult game, because Chris Wilder is a very good manager, and he's got a good group of players there that will die for that shirt, and that's what fans want to see. And I hope that Sheffield United do well throughout the rest of the season, because I've got nothing but admiration for them, the way they go about their business. Chris Wilder's an absolute gentleman, a proper footballing man. Yeah, so we did make hard work of it, but I also want to give a nod of credit to Sheffield United for just not giving up, making it a difficult game and fighting for every single ball, mate. So again, I think you're a Sheffield United fan, Lord Heath. I appreciate you dropping into the chat, mate, and I sincerely wish you guys the best for the season ahead. These are the games that need to be won. Absolutely, D-Mac. Completely agree with you, pal. Will Alisson play in the Champions League this week? I'd imagine so. I mean, if he's fit, the shoulder looked okay today. I mean, I didn't see any issues. Unlike a player who, an outfield player who might get 60 minutes, the legs might get tired. A little bit different for a goalkeeper. Obviously, you wouldn't cover anywhere near as much distances, so fatigue shouldn't really be an issue other than mental fatigue. So yeah, I think he'd be all right. I mean, let's be optimistic about it. Why not? Who got man of the match? On our vote, Diogo Jota. I believe on the club's official website, I think Joe Gomez. I'm not sure who the television companies gave it to, though. What channel is Liverpool versus West Ham on at the weekend? Good question. I can tell you. I'll check for you now while we're live. I think it's on Sky, but let me just check for you now, buddy. I've got the TV thing open here beside me. Gonna finish up in a couple of minutes, ladies and gentlemen, but if you have enjoyed the stream, please do hit that subscribe button before you head off, and drop a like on the stream as well. Let me get back here. It's on Sky Sports main event and Sky Sports Premier League next week, mate. 6:30 kickoff. When's the next stream going to be? Tomorrow night, Nathan. I'll be back tomorrow night at 8:30 or 8:45 with a late night agenda, and we'll start building ahead. Probably do Saturday, Sunday. Yeah, we'll do a preview for the Champions League game tomorrow night as well. So I hope you tune in for that one, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for helping us hit 55k. We got 100,000 people watching the watch along of the game as well. The support that you've given us means a lot to us, and we appreciate it, and we certainly do not take it for granted. So again, I'll get that Paul Tompkins competition winner sorted out. I'll hopefully see you guys here tomorrow. If you're watching this back later on, let me know your thoughts on the game. I hope that you enjoyed it. Again, best of luck to Chris Wilder and Sheffield United for the season ahead. Thank you so much for your support. Be safe, be well, take care of your loved ones, and up the Reds.